Today, right, we're actually going to talk about preference versus performance, because I think, a lot of buyers, at the end of the day, right, some of them, they have certain preferences that they really want, or some of them are really looking at performance. But of course, a lot of buyers also have this mindset that, hey, I want to have something I really like, and at the same time, I also want it to so-called, make money and don't lose money and all this kind of thing lah. So in this video, I'm actually going to share a bit about this concept of preference versus performance.
So in there, a bit of a disclaimer, everything we share is based on our own opinion. If you really want to do it yourself, do your due diligence check. But if you want deeper analysis and advice, all these things, you can always feel free to DM us, call us, text us. We'll be happy to share with you in a more in-depth environment.
So of course, we want to start off right with a question that a lot of our buyers always ask us before they make a purchase. Because recently I actually served a few buyers, right, and one of the buyers actually asked me, this buyer is totally buying for own stay. He's not really looking at profits or all these kind of things. So he's just buying for own stay. Then of course, after viewing everything, this buyer actually asked me one question. He said, hey, if I buy this, will I actually in the future, maybe like 10 years later, right, will the price actually go up or will it go down? Yeah, because I'm so concerned, even though it's own stay. So I realized, a lot of buyers out there, even if they're not looking at profits or anything, a lot of buyers are still having the fear that they might lose money, which is quite normal because I think no buyer want to lose money, right?
Actually, I think this is very common. Every buyers, when they buy something, right, they don't lose.
Of course, they can tell me I'm going to stay 20-30 years. I don't care, I don't need to next year you better go up by 100,000 or 200,000.
But main thing is because I'm going to put 200 to 300k of my money into this property, right? I make sure that I want to buy the right one.
At least don't lose. At least don't lose.
I think 8 out of 10 people that we serve, they will always ask this question. Hey, 我买这个 next time.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Always ask me.
Will the price drop or not? Is it a good property? All these things. So they have always, I think everyone it's very normal to have this concern because property is something that is a
huge quantum.
Right? Yeah. For some of us, most of us, it will be a huge purchase.
Yeah, it's the biggest one.
Yeah, and the biggest leverage, 75% loan.
Because you're gonna pay the loan 20-30 years, no. It's no joke.
Then if I pay today I buy already, next 2-3 years it drop, right?
Yeah.
Then I servicing a bad loan. If you think like that, so very normal.
Yeah. So today, right, if we look at the new launch and resale, Matthew, I ask you, based on this, the new launch is blue. Okay, the resale is orange, right? 51% gap. Which one will you actually go for if you are a buyer?
I definitely go resale. Why? Because today, very simple today resale and new wow, there's a 50% cheaper. If I buy cheaper, I safer I think it's a no-brainer because this is, I think most of this is a common really about new because the way you see new you need to pay higher then I pay higher then does it make sense because I buy resale. Firstly, I buy resale, I sure can move in. I buy new, I have to go, and if I got a house stay, okay I don't have a house to stay, I need to go rent for 3 to 4 until TOP. Then I pay higher, I go rent just to wait for the house. I think almost all my clients that will buying new have always have this concern one.
Yes.
So that this is a common rule because you see, number one, we are paying higher. Then we talk about new launch always make money but you don't understand today I'm paying higher. I do so much thing I also not sure whether make a lot.
Correct. Example, today you buy 2.6 next time you need to sell, you want to make profit you have to sell at least 2.8 to make a 200 PSF
Then the next question you sure bro?
Yeah. And the question is, you sure this area who will buy from me at 2.8? Yeah. Will buy at 2.8 or not? You don't know that. This is future
Right. So that's why there is a certain framework to really buy into things that the exit price is already transacted.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of the key flow that we follow.
Strategies.
So that we don't overpay. So that it will affect our exit one.
Yes.
Very scary because when you don't, we can see why people will say that hey, property stuck cannot sell all these things it's because sometimes they overpay the entry
Usually they overpay or they buy at a high low.
Overpay the entry. Once you overpay the entry it's very hard to exit. Even your property how good the people who in your own development buy the right price will exit first one.
Yeah.
You will be the
because they can exit
at your price.
At your price. They don't need to hire. Yeah,
correct. So again, you see, rental. I have to rent 3 to 4 years.
Actually, to be frank this rental thing I ask most of the clients that are couples, right, or with families rental is something that is not really what they want
I think it's all psychology We are not really used to renting house.
Because
it's a new thing But if you go to maybe other country renting is very common.
Yeah.
Because home ownership in Singapore is very high, and we're used to staying with your parents, all these things Then as we transit when we wait for, let's just say BTO, we wait at our parents' house
Yeah, we stay at our house.
Stay at parents' house. Then after we got BTO, we stay already So we stay then now you actually buy new launch. I need to go rent. I let go of my comfort, my own house, all these things to go something. It's an unknown thing.
Yeah.
It's unknown to me. It's let's say alien to me to go rent house.
Yes. Because there's some people I would say maybe that it could be a lot of Singaporeans maybe their whole lifetime they don't rent one. Could be what? The whole life they never rent their whole life.
Why I want to rent?
It's fine for what? I can buy what?
I got house, I got room. But I mean, if I stay with my parents, I got room to stay. You know, if you got your own house, you got home to stay. Why you want to choose to go rent? You know? Then renter, pay rent.
Okay, when they got deal with the landlord.
Then the landlord deal.
Then increase later after 1 year rental, 2 year rental, they increase rent, all these things. Yeah.
So there's a lot of uncertainty to do this thing, to buy new. This is one of the resistance I need to rent. I tell you, renter, there is good thing, there also very bad thing. There's no such thing as smooth sailing one. Because we got client during COVID was not so very stressful because the rent keep going up then no choice they have to bite the bullet to
the rental can up 1,000 2,000 kind one 1,000 2,000 not 几百块的东西
but luckily the property also increase you know the property increase a lot then
but still a complaint
yeah
complain because they kena
because you see once the landlord increase to 1,000 2,000 then you go and compare other areas actually also increase then become like wow, why something rental so expensive. This is something that because when your rental increase then it will eat into your profit. Number one, not profit, because profit you haven't see because haven't sell a house. It eat into your cost itself, eat into your daily life, your daily expenses all went up then suddenly become very stressed. It's something that we won't want to happen So this is one of the resistance that we always face. If you ask me, I also don't want to rent this is the best one.
The best question
I buy new, I rent. I work so hard in my the whole thing, I lose money. This one
I don't know what to say
because I mean this one is very common If I do so much thing then after that the whole thing lose
because at the end of the day it's still the same back to the same thing If I buy already what if I say at whatever price nobody buy
I buy resale, I lose money. Like I buy new, I
also buy resale
because the big thing is that I waste 3-4 years of my time
correct,
we lose time so this is the best concern we have. So one thing we also want to share is actually how the behavior work in terms of the resale cycle. We don't know right now wrong today resale is always cheaper 50% all these things. We just use sterling as an example see today sterling is about 2,003 as I resale. If you compare with Penrith, average about 2.8 more expensive So one thing is today you must always ask yourself, Penrith buyers average buy 2.8, they want to sell
higher
right. They just say 3,000 it's good You must ask yourself today you buy at 2.3 right, how much you want to sell?
2.5
2.6 or maybe sell Penrith 5 If market not good what happen? For Penrith people who buy at 2.8 right, market not good and they sell 2.7 2.5 you will hold
yeah, why I sell for what?
Because I mean based on what we on the ground I say mostly will hold out a deficit because today based on our policy, our loan, all these things, everyone can hold as long as they keep their job, all these things we don't over leverage in a sense. So we will definitely hold out to sell higher. We won't sell at a loss. So it won't affect the whole development transaction in terms of no one will sabo you in a way But today you buy at 2.3 right, you want to sell 2.8 market good okay. But when market don't do so well, I think that's the turning point that you have to ask yourself. Because today when market not good right, you can't sell 2.3. But people who buy sterling at 1,007 at the start, they can sell at your price at 2.3. They can exit. They can even sell at 2.2. Or main thing they got a big buffer, they can sell at even 1,009 or 1,008. But you cannot. But once this thing happen your 2.3 jialat that's where you start already.
It will pull down
you pull down the valuation of the whole development already. Then every seller will ask you, hey, people are doing 1.9, you want to sell 2.3, you sure or not?
I mean the buyers also they will try to get the lower price
and transaction is happening at desperate rate right.
They won't want to pay more.
Of course we don't want this to happen, but this is we call it a risk. Whether it happen or happen I don't know. Hopefully don't happen. But is there a chance? There is a chance. But for Paris people who buy at the same
it's very minimal.
I think right, they will hold on. They want to sell cheaper than their cost price.
Very unlikely.
Unless there are circumstances that they need to sell. If not, people usually will hold.
Right, but this is a special case.
Special case, something that will happen. Today even you buy cheaper, of course resale cheaper. Technically you must always ask yourself that you must prepare for this scenario correct. So what are these scenarios? Today, what are the scenarios? Today you see.
So today, I mean if we look at example, but resale got make money some of my buyers will tell me resale got make money where you keep saying, I mean like we're not saying that resale don't make money.
Correct.
That's why if we look at the trend for example, for let's say Queens Queens also in Queenstown area very old one So you price right after 10 years, after 13 years it actually went up. 13 years let's say for old stay 13 years okay normal can stay. But after 13 years when at this point you realize there's actually a dip in the price. The price actually dropped. What happened during this time? This time was actually in 2013 when they had the TDSI and ABSD cooling measure. So when this cooling measure came up the price actually dropped. Then it dropped so by right at least normal. So drop already then it's stagnant That's why we always say resale is usually stagnant. But at 2019 what happened? COVID everything shut down everything.
Wow, that time I tell you COVID I think most of us has been through COVID. Wow, you can see the news unemployment the stock market down.
Very negative.
Very a lot of fear.
Then
in terms of property market, everyone say wow crash
better don't do anything.
Ask yourself, we also think that the price will drop.
Because at the end of the day, even if the buyers they feel like, hey, maybe it's an opportunity, right? They still won't dare. You know why? If because of COVID, what if my job gone?
Yeah.
What if, what happened? Recession come.
Even got pay cut, all these things.
Right, because COVID, so they will also have fear.
But in the end,
In the end, what happened?
COVID, anyone who buy property all make money. Mostly all.
Mostly all
make money. I don't want to say
all lah, okay, but
But
say
the people I know who buy all make lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after COVID, of course, when COVID once over, we should see the price go up. I don't say resale don't make money. Resale can still make. By the end of the day, this cooling measure, which is government policy, this COVID, can we control?
So why are we sharing out all this? If you notice, this cooling measure and COVID, is this something that all of us can control?
We can't control.
That's why I tell you, resale market is something more dependent on the environment. If today the price is too hot, the government feels that it's too hot, maybe they will come out with cooling measure. Then pandemic come, price down or up, also don't know.
In fact, we also never thought after COVID price will go until so crazy.
Correct, because COVID actually affected the whole supply chain. Then property is all about supply and demand.
Yes.
So the demand went up, the supply cannot keep up, the price went up.
Correct. Which we never predict. I mean, I didn't know that.
We thought it will be a crash. At that time, when 2019 COVID lockdown, agent cannot work. I at home play game. After that, because we see things are not happening, of course company come into support, right? We actually introduce all the virtual viewing, all these things. We start to sell house doing virtual, then we actually adapt in a new system. That's why now we can do Zoom to do presentation, all these things.
Became very normal, like Zoom, all these became very normal. Right? So the key thing is that we cannot predict. I still remember my buyer asked me, so how you think will I make money, will I lose money?
Yeah.
Honestly, because of all these things, I had to have a crystal ball.
Yeah, we cannot control in a
future ball. Yeah. So don't say we still can't make money, just that it's beyond our control. We do not know.
So today is like when we buy property, right? Why new have a more potential? It's just that today we have understand that how the developer work. Today developer is a seller. Seller wants to make money. Very simple. At the start they sell, they need to clear some stock because if they don't do well in the sale or the starting, they have to use their own money. They need to clear about 30 to 40% so that the bank will start to disperse their loan. So today we use, for example, Florence. You buy here, at the mid phase they start to increase price. At the end they increase a lot. So I ask you if we ever know this logic, then why these people will want to buy here? I mean, why people want to buy here? How to say it doesn't make sense, right? We know that the first buyer already bought at 1,004, right? Why will I buy at 1,007?
Because you rent. I want to move in.
And also, can I say there's no choice?
Yeah, no choice.
Because if you have seen our video, right, then we always remember the dustbin view, right? Why people still buy dustbin view? The view not so good, also buy. Why usually at condo, even every condo reaching near the TOP period, right, will sell finish one, but they pay higher. The view left a few years by pay higher because the future, if they don't buy at the next development, the next development will be more expensive, maybe 2 to 300k. Then I want something new, and maybe the TOP stage, right? I can see the facade quite nice already, they walk around all these things, then they see all the areas. It's not floor plan anymore, you can really see the model, all this. It's not model anymore, so they get a bite of this. Then maybe people will want to pay You
still pay because at the end of the day, no choice also. Yeah, because if they don't pay no matter what, maybe the angle not so good, the facing not so good, they don't pay they got to pay 200k, and it's not like people don't pay. No choice. Yeah. For some people with budget,
or either they buy resale, but some people will just want to buy new, then don't want to. They want to be first owner they will pay this price because in the end of the day, the developer are very smart one. They also know what's happening around that. Yeah, you need to price very competitively. That is like a no-brainer that you must buy for me. Yeah. Like for example today, like Florence, right? They just put 217. They know that others are selling at 2,000, all this thing, right? Then no-brainer, 300 per square foot cheaper, right? Yeah. But in the end of the day, how much average I already come out make already. So today you buy here, people who buy here, if you just need to sell at that price, you auto a little bit already. Yes. This is one of the model. Same thing, key residences, same thing, you buy here straight away. People buy at phase 3. But what are the things we call? Today you see people buy at 1.5, 1.6, right? At 1,000, 6,000. In the end, what happened? This is all new sales. Must remember, it's from developer. 没有剩 People pay because people can see the facade, and as the market go more confident during the before everything, right? Then you see all the new launches getting more and more expensive, right? Yeah. Looks cheap. Looks cheap. But today
you always compare.
So today you ask yourself that although you feel that it's cheap at 2,001 because you compare with the future, but if you think back, you could actually buy something at here.
But then this one,
so you have to,
which is why we talk about preference versus performance.
Correct. So profit margin easily $500,000. Those people who bought key at the start and sell. If you see the date, 2-1 and set 2 and holding 4 years.
Yeah. So actually, what is this? This is performance. So if let's say today, if you are really looking at profits and all that, right, means you are only looking at performance. Which is why for those that look at performance, usually they will look at the new like what we explained earlier. But of course, depends on what you want.
Then what is preference?
Okay, preference usually preference is that firstly it's mostly for own stay. What you like, own stay, you want size, comfort. You want comfort, you want size, you want location, you want this, you want it's everything what you want. What do you prefer? You like this area, you like this, you want to be near school. All these are all preference. And usually to go to preference usually mostly is resale because resale then you have more choices, then you can also the price is lower. You can have more things.
I think it's comfort
comfort you got more criteria to go for
So I think to wrap up this video, right, I think today when you want to buy a property, right, you cannot tell us that, hey, can I have both or not, preference and performance? Because to be very honest, I will tell my client you have to choose one because there's no together. If someone tell you that I can help you both, right? I can say to me, I think it's lying.
Yeah.
Because if you have seen, right, resale is very dependent on something that we cannot control. So sometimes a person can hit it, buy a resale and make money. I mean, good lah.
I mean, it may not be because of the strategy.
Yeah,
Since the market good.
Market went up.
Yeah.
Correct or not? So I always ask them to choose one. Today if we are looking at preference, right? How can we also have a framework to actually how to lower the risk.
Yes.
There's a framework to where to buy, what to buy, how to buy.
Yes.
A resale. But if you focus on performance, right, definitely you have to go new. But of course, along the way, we have to make some sacrifice. Because I think it's easy in a way. But how do we buy the new one? How do we select the new one? I mean, if you have followed our video, there are some framework also. Right? So performance of the framework, resale is framework. But performance is how we spot project with building profit.
Yes.
And so that you get more protection.
Right.
Resale is how we can mitigate the risk, lower the risk. So that we try to have, so that you will
try to go for what you prefer. But then we also try to make sure what you go for as a so-called like a built-in protection.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 to, 50 to 100,000.
Yeah.
You know, right, spot this kind of unit.
Right. Then where to buy? How do we spot this out? What the driver should go for resale there, so that you can have a lower chance for things to happen. And you still got some chance that the first owner can help you to make the money.
Yes.
Alright,
hopefully.
So today, if you come to the end of our video, so if you need, like today you're talking about, hey, I'm coming to want to buy a property, or maybe what should I look for?
Yes.
Do I look for preference or look for performance? Today, which one should I go? Because everyone the case different. You have to we actually it's always like a one-to-one session that is like how to say it's very cater.
What is your goal? No? Yeah. Because some people they are not really looking into performance, so that maybe some don't even care about the preference because they really want to so-called make the money So it's really case by case basis.
Yeah, so it's all more to tailor all these things. Correct. So it's very hard to tell you there's one strategy that work for all
Yeah.
And of course, in terms of like something like today, if you have only certain budget, sometimes with CCC I think must go resale.
Yeah. Right.
Because if certain budget
no choice
then you only can buy certain type of unit type and project then sometimes that project also not so good to enter then we have to go resale. This is certain thing that we look at So today, if you are looking into taking action in the market, also looking at today what's the market direction 2026, want to know more, feel free to contact us. We can always arrange a Zoom or coffee session. And once again, I'm Matthew.
I'm Dylan.
We see you soon. Subscribe